Hello everyone, my name is Sevi, and this is a tiny overview of a puzzle that I designed for Christmas for my family. In the end, I called this Mitosis. I made a kind of tool in Houdini to generate it, but it ended at the moment as a sequence of puzzles that increase in pieces. So it starts by this tiny piece of 2, and then it goes to 4, to 8, to 16, 32, etc. I released the 5 first ones for free. You can download them in printables. And if you are interested on trying out the bigger ones that goes from 64 up to 512, which is, I still didn't finish it, of how difficult it is, you can just purchase it and helps out to develop these things. There's a high chance I will release the tool that helped me out to build this. It's not that helped me out, it's that I made it, but it helped me to make it, of course. And I'll just show you a little bit the process that I did to make it. Then the result is a series of 9 puzzles. The one you see right now is this juggernaut of 512. At this point, the pieces are extremely similar, but they are all unique. The way it's designed is that they need to fit exactly in its space, so you cannot really miss it out. It's recommendable that you start slowly from the smaller to the bigger one, but they are designed to fit and they stay within the base, and that's something that I really enjoyed because it doesn't fall, right? The process to do this started with the one you see on the left right now. I thought to start with this structure where you have a bit of a base and you put it on top. I think most puzzles that I found were designed this way because it's quite easy. You just subtract the piece to the base and then you put it on top. Then this didn't really work because all the pieces fell down, so it felt really not satisfactory to do it. It was not so great. So then I did this one in the middle, which it looked like my idea was to have some chess piece style that you would pick up from the top and also put, but didn't work. I ended up with this design on the right. It has the piece and basically the socket, and all it is just you can put it in the base and it gets snapped. There is more surface for the piece to stay in the puzzle, and that's all it was basically. And the shape worked really well. And then I started to experiment a lot. The biggest difficulty was to make the pieces fit to the base, and the reason is that they are generated, right? What that I mean by that is that there is not a single piece that is the same. Every new seat of this puzzle is different. So although they look rather similar, the pieces are extremely difficult to find. I would really recommend you try the free version because I think it's really fun to just find these differences. But you can see it here a little bit. I experimented with color, with just different filaments. Was a bit difficult in terms of the snappiness of the piece. The one in the middle that has these 2 different colors, I used PLA for both, but they were a different brand, and then they didn't snap anymore. So it's something to try out. It is really dependent on the filament, if they are shared or not. It's a little tricky to do. That's why I'm thinking of releasing the tool eventually, because it will be easier for the user to select the margins. One of the things that I've been experimenting with is to give a drawn input to this Mitosis puzzle generator, and all it gets basically is like a flat surface, and we can make that in Houdini quite easily. For example, I'm now drawing, from the drawing, I'm extracting like a polygon, and it's a flat one. And what that would allow me to do is to draw it. So for example, I can clear this drawing and I can make a new one. And then I have a pre-visualization of the bed to see and have a reference of the size, right? So usually, at least in the Prusa printer, it is a 5x5 grid. So I could say, well, you can see also here 5x5. So I can draw slowly the puzzle and it will start to emerge from the drawing, which is really, really cool. And because I'm having a for loop here, I can draw other pieces within the same part. And this will just get these different objects and it will scatter around all the pieces, which I think is really, really cool. Of course, it has like a few problems, like if you have certain shapes that overlap or that are a little bit like this angled. I didn't finish, that's why I'm not releasing it at the moment. But here, if we uncheck the preview, you can see how it looks. A bit like Gaudi. I think he would be proud. So if I uncheck this, it's going to calculate how the puzzle should be made. And I think this should work. I had quite a few struggles in these corners that the pieces would sort of break a bit, but seems to be quite okay so far. I think this would print well. And then once this is drawn, as you can see, I also will calculate the pieces, and you can export both and just bring it to the thing. Now, once you import the model, all I had to do is just to slice it. There were a few settings that helped a lot. I have really good friends that are really pro at this, and they help me a bit with that as well. I just started not so long ago. One of them was the layer height. I ended up using a 15 millimeter. I think it helped in terms of the size because the pieces were a little smaller. So that helped quite a bit. And the most important one was the seam, to have it random. So here I go to seam position, I think. Yeah. So this should be randomized. The reason is that otherwise the seam was like one line and it would have problems with the slicing. And that helped a lot. So if you're going to print that, just do that. But it's explained as well in the text. So it should be fine. And that's it. That's how I made this puzzle. And I might release this tool at some point. Okay. Thank you and goodbye. Have a nice day.